The Jeon mansion was quiet, too quiet. Your footsteps echoed softly on the marble floor as you explored the place you were now forced to call home. The hall were wide, decorated with paintings and gold frame mirrors. The air smelled faintly of wood polish and something darker, like smoke, that never really faded. The guards outside stood tall and silent. Even the staff moved quickly, bowing to you, but avoiding eye contact as if they feared what might happen if they looked too long. It didn't feel like home, it felt like cage made of glass and stone. That first night you sat at the edge of the large bed in your room. The silk sheets felt cold against your skin. You couldn't sleep. Every creak of your house, every sound from outside made your chest tighten. The door opened quietly. Jungkook walked in, still in his black suit. Though his tie was loose now, his eyes flicked at you for a second before he went to the table and poured himself a glass of water. You should sleep, he said, his voice deep and calm. I can't, you replied softly, staring at the floor. For a moment, silence hung between you. You expected him to leave, but instead he set the glass down, leaned against the table, watching you. His gaze wasn't cruel. It was heavy, thoughtful, like he wanted to say something but did not know how. Finally he spoke. This house, it takes time to get used to. You looked up at him, surprised. It was the first personal thing he said since the wedding. Days passed, Jungkook was often away at night. Business, he called it, though you didn't ask questions. But when he was at home, you'd notice small things. At breakfast, he would sit across from you, quietly drinking coffee. Sometimes when you reached for something, he would slide the plate closer without a word. In the afternoons, when you walked in the garden, you felt his eyes on you from the balcony above, not in a threatening way, more like he was making sure you were safe. You told yourself it was nothing. You told yourself he was still the enemy, but your heart whispered otherwise. One rainy night, unable to sleep, you walked to the kitchen. The storm outside made the window shake. The air was cold and dumb, the smell of the rain filling the halls. When you entered the kitchen, you stopped. Jungkook was already there. His sleeves were rolled up, showing his strong forearms, and he was sipping coffee, his hair slightly messy. He raised an eyebrow at you. Can't sleep? You shook your head. Without a word, he poured another glass and pushed it towards you. The stream rose slowly, warming your cold hands where you wrapped them around the cup. The two of you sat there in silence, listening to the rain. It wasn't uncomfortable. In fact, for the first time you came here, you felt a strange calm. You glanced at him. His eyes weren't as cold as before. He looked tired, human, like he carried weight you couldn't see. Thank you, you whispered. Surprising yourself, he gave a small nod. You don't need to thank me. But you looked down, you thought you saw the corner of his smile twitch into a faintest smile. That night, as you lay in bed, the rain still falling outside, your heart was confused. Were you supposed to hate him? Were you supposed to want revenge? So why did one cup of coffee with Jeon Jungkook feel like safest moment you had in weeks? Life in Jeon Mansion slowly began to feel different, not warm, not truly safe, but difficult, but different. Jeon Jungkook was still quiet, still mysterious, but you started to notice small things, tiny cracks in the walls he had built around himself. One morning, he knocked softly on your door. We are going out, he said, his voice calm. Out, you asked, confused. He he didn't explain, only gestured for you to follow. Outside, the weather was bright and clear. The sky was painted a soft blue, and the morning air carried the fresh scent of blooming flowers. Jungkook drew the car himself, his hands steady on the wheel, his expression unreadable. The silence between you wasn't uncomfortable anymore, it felt natural. When the car finally stopped, you blinked in surprise. You weren't at a dangerous place or a dark alley. You were at a park, a simple, quiet park where cherry blossom tree lined the path. The petal danced gently in the spring breeze, falling like pink snow. Why here? You asked softly. He shrugged. You have been trapped inside the mansion. I thought you might need some air. You stared at him, speechless. It wasn't something you expected from the feared mafia heir, but you followed him along the path anyway. You sat on the wooden bench beneath the cherry trees. The soft petals landed on your hair, your lap, your hands. You brushed them off, smiled a little without realizing. Jungkook noticed. His gaze softened, though he quickly looked away. Do you come here often? You asked. Sometimes, he said, when I need to think. You tilted your head. And what do you think about? His lips curved into the faintest smile. You asked too many questions. You rolled your eyes, but for the first time, the exchange felt playful instead of sharp. A few days later, something small but unforgettable happened. You were in a garden at the mansion, reaching up to touch of branches of white flowers, but petals look delicate, glowing softly under the afternoon sun. But you stretched your foot slipped on the damp grass. You gasped, ready to fall. Before you could hit the ground, strong arms caught you. Your head pounded as you look up straight into Jungkook's dark eyes. His chest was firm beneath your hands, his heartbeat steady against your ear. The world went quiet for a second. The only sound the rustle of leaves and the rush of your own breath. You should be careful, you whispered. Your voice was slow, but this time it wasn't cold, it was gentle. You felt your cheeks warm. Quietly, you stepped back, mumbling, I am fine. But your eyes lingered on you. You swore you saw something in them, something softer than the man you thought you knew. That night, as you lay in bed, you couldn't stop thinking about it. The way he caught you, the way his smile sounded, his voice sounded, the way his smile has softened for a moment. You were supposed to hate him, you were supposed to want revenge, and yet every small change, every quiet moment, every hidden smile was breaking down the walls you had built. For the first time, you wondered if maybe, just maybe, there was more to Jeon Jungkook than a mafia hire the world feared. Thanks for watching. Please stay tuned for the next part. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye.